Dear students, now we are going to discuss types of respiration and types of organisms on the basis of respiration performed by them. On the basis of involvement of oxygen, there are two types of respirations. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Okay, so if O2 is consumed, aerobic respiration, otherwise anaerobic respiration. These two are well known. So on the basis of a type of respiration performed by organisms, what are the types of organisms? So according to evolution, on this earth, initially anaerobic conditions. So initial succession of organisms, early stages of development, before the evolution of organisms, according to evolution of organisms. First, anaerobic conditions. Anaerobic conditions. So on this earth surface, the type of condition, according to respiration we are talking, condition that prevailed was anaerobic conditions. So definitely first evolved organisms are cells. So first organisms were definitely anaerobic. Anaerobic. So gradually, the environment is enriched with oxygen because of evolution of oxygenic photosynthesis. Because of oxygenic photosynthesis, pure anaerobic conditions gradually changed into aerobic conditions. So next evolved, second evolved, next evolution, next organisms. Aerobic conditions. And still it is going on. Aerobic conditions. And next evolved organisms, aerobic organisms. The major source of oxygen is no doubt oxygenic photosynthesis. So conversion of anaerobic into aerobic is because of the main cause is oxygenic photosynthesis, right? Next, what are the types of organisms? First one, obligate anaerobes. Obligate anaerobic organisms. So they are able to survive and grow in the absence of oxygen only. So for these organisms, oxygen is not required. Inhibitory effect. So they can grow in the oxygen free environment, oxygen free environment, oxygen free conditions. So in the presence of oxygen, they do not grow. They will die definitely. So there will be No growth and development of these organisms in the presence of oxygen. So they need a 100% anaerobic conditions. Best example, the well-known one, Archaebacteria, methanogenic bacteria. Methanogenic bacteria. You can say that one as Archaebacteria. Generally, they used to grow in sludge, sewage sludge, anaerobic sludge digester, and gobar gas also. So here I'm writing STP, sewage treatment plant and gobar gas. And rumen of rumen, stomach, second stomach, rumen of cattle. So that is about obligate anaerobes, pure anaerobes. Okay, they do not tolerate oxygen conditions. So hence the MC Archaebacteria, oldest first evolved organisms. They are one of the first evolved organisms. And the second one, facultative or wait. Obligate means mandatory. Obligate aerobes. Okay, so they can grow in the presence of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen. Without oxygen, definitely they will die. Okay, most of the eukaryotes are obligate aerobes, human beings, most of the animals, and plants also, most of the animals and plants. Most of the multicellular organisms, animals, plants are obligate aerobes. Third one is very, very important. Facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes. So facultative anaerobes are basically aerobes. Basically aerobes. They're able to perform aerobic respiration. In the absence of oxygen, they are able to perform anaerobic condition. Optimistic. If O2 is available, aerobic respiration. Otherwise, anaerobic respiration. Both are possible. It depends on availability of oxygen. If O2 is available, aerobic. Otherwise, anaerobic conditions. So if oxygen is available, aerobic. Otherwise, no oxygen, they can perform anaerobic respiration. So actually, in our body is human beings. We are obligate aerobe. But what about our skeletal muscles? Here examples. Our skeletal muscles. Yeast, for example, first one, yeast, unicellular, eukaryote, fungus. Saccharomyces, sugar fungus. Brewer's yeast, baker's yeast fungus, that is a facultative anaerobe. If O2 is available, aerobic respiration, otherwise anaerobic respiration. And our skeletal muscles. Okay, so our skeletal muscles are basically aerobic cells. Basically aerob or not? We are here aerobes. Definitely our cells are aerobic. But in the absence of oxygen, our skeletal muscles are able to perform lactic acid fermentation. Go back to biomolecules. It was given there, the living state before. How to understand concept of metabolism. It was given there. Skeletal muscles are able to perform lactic acid fermentation. So skeletal muscular cells of mammals are facultative anaerobic cells. If O2 is available, aerobic. Otherwise, anaerobic. So that's about types of organisms on the base of involvement of oxygen. Right? This part is very, very important. In your textbook, it was not clearly given. But definitely they will ask in the case of NEET. Right? Now, what are the steps present in respiration? Initially, we are going to focus on mechanism of aerobic respiration. First one, mechanism of aerobic respiration. During aerobic respiration, respiratory substrates, for example, here I'm taking glucose molecule. Glucose molecule is completely oxidized into energy. Complete oxidation in the presence of oxygen during aerobic respiration. And overall, complete balanced equation of aerobic respiration if carbohydrate is involved. C6H12O6 plus 6O2 molecules, 12 half O2 atoms, 12 half O2s, 12 atoms, remember this one, gives rise 6CO2, 6H2O plus last one 686 kilocalories of energy. That energy includes heat energy plus ATP. Here I'm taking ATP as it is a energy currency of the cell. Okay, so total amount of energy liberated is 686 kilocalories of energy out of one glucose molecule completely oxidized. The major part of 686 kilocalories is heat energy and some extent chemical energy. Now, what are the steps present in aerobic respiration? If glucose is involved, if carbohydrate is involved, the first one is glycolysis. And site of glycolysis, place of glycolysis in all organisms, place of or site, place of it is better, directly right. Place of glycolysis. Cytoplasm in all organisms. In all organisms, the place of glycolysis is cytoplasm. And glycolysis is common for both aerobic and anaerobic respirations. It is common for both aerobic and anaerobic respirations. And second one, link reaction. link reaction. This is also called as oxidative decarboxylation. Oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid, PA, pyruvic acid or pyruvate. Pyruvic acid. Okay. So place of occurrence, this one, mitochondria, within mitochondria, if it is eukaryote. If it is a eukaryote, mitochondria. Otherwise, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm in the case of prokaryotes. Reason prokaryotes are not having mitochondria. Right? Third one, Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle. Mitochondria, if it is eukaryote. Otherwise, cytoplasm. Prokaryotes. And final step, fourth one, ETS. Simply I'm writing ETS, electron transport system. ETS, electron transport system. So ETS is concerned with oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation means synthesis of ATP during oxidation. We will discuss all these steps. Just I'm giving outline of various events which are possible during aerobic respiration. Just I'm giving headings only. So while reading the textbook, you have to fragment a concept into a number of pieces. Then you can answer any question possible in NEET examination. So electron transport system that accounts for oxidative phosphorylation. What is oxidative phosphorylation? Synthesis of ATP during oxidation, simply. Crestae of mitochondria, if it is eukaryote, or in the case of eukaryotes, or otherwise mesosomes. In the case of prokaryotes, particularly bacteria, mesosomes. Go back to first year part, prokaryotic cell, bacteria. Mesosomes are supposed to involve in a number of functions. One of them is respiration. So ETS takes place within mesosomes of bacteria. So these are the locations where these events are possible, right? So that's about events present in aerobic respiration, right? Is it clear? Now, mechanism of aerobic respiration, first step, that is a glycolysis. Glyco, Greek word, glyco means sugar. Lysis breakdown. Glyco means glucose, sugar molecule. Lysis means breakdown. So etymology means words. Origin of that word was from Greek language. Glycolysis, glycolysis, breakdown of glucose molecule. So this pathway is also called as glycolytic metabolism. Lytic, glycolytic, lysis, breakdown, hence the name. Glucose is subjected to breakdown, hence the name glycolytic. See the difference. Photorespiration, C2 cycle. Photorespiration is also called as a glycolate metabolism. Glycolate. See the difference. Both are different. See, glycolytic, lysis, glycolate metabolism. Both are different. That is a photorespiration. This one is a respiration. Okay. Remember that one. So glycolytic, lysis of glucose. And this pathway is also called as EMP pathway. EMP. Reason, 3 members who traced out oxidation of glucose into pyruvic acid. Who were they? E stands for Abden. Abden. Okay. Next, Meyerhoff. Next scientist, Parnas. Hence the name Abden, Meyerhoff, Parnas pathway. EMP pathway. And this is also called as hexose diphosphate pathway. Hexose diphosphate pathway, HDP. HDPP or HDP. Reason, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Fructose 1,6 biphosphate plays an important role in the formation of or oxidation of glucose into pyruvic acids. Right? Next, during glycolysis, glucose is partially oxidized to 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. 2 is nothing but molecules, 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, 3-carbon compound. Okay. No O2 consumed and no CO2 evolved. So that is the introduction part of glycolysis. Now, what are the reactions? How many reactions are there? By means of which one glucose molecule is cleaved into 2 pyruvic acids, right? Now glycolysis. So at the end of photosynthesis, carbohydrates are produced. So here I'm taking sucrose molecule. Sucrose. Sucrose is a disaccharide. with a glucose, glycosidic bond and fructose. Glucose and fructose. Or you can take a other polysaccharide. For example, I'm taking starch. Okay. So here, first step is it is not glycolysis. After this glycolysis. So here, in the presence of an enzyme, that is invertage. Invertage. This enzyme is able to cause hydrolysis of a glycosidic bond present in glucose and fructose. So invertage enzyme. Enzyme name is invertage. This one is a hydrolysis. Addition of water and breaking of a glycosidic bond. So hydrolysis of glycosidic bond present between glucose molecule and fructose. So that leads to a formation of glucose and fructose monomers. Glucose and fructose. If it is a starch, amylase. Amylase. Okay, so amylase is concerned with the hydrolysis. Hydrolysis of glycosidic bonds present between glucose molecules. Go back to biomolecule starch, secondary helical structure. Okay, the bond present between glucose molecules is a glycosidic bond. So after hydrolysis, the monomer produced is a glucose molecule. So this entire process, this is not glycolysis. This one, what is this one? This is a digestion. This is called as a digestion. Okay, so now glucose, fructose will enter into blood in the case of animals. So this part is not glycolysis. This is a digestion. Sucrose and starch, pure carbohydrates, pure form of carbohydrates, proteins, and other are not suitable for respiration. They must be converted into monomers. Only monomers are suitable for oxidation, right? So there is about a digestion of sucrose and starch. Now glycolysis begins. So take one molecule of glucose. Glucose or fructose. So one molecule of glucose or one molecule of fructose. So total number of reactions during glycolysis, one glucose or one fructose is converted into pyruvic acid is 10 reactions. 10 reactions. What are they one by one? First reaction. So in the first reaction, glucose or fructose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, so this reaction is a phosphorylation. First reaction is phosphorylation. Addition of a phosphate. This reaction is an energy consuming reaction. Endergonic reaction, not exergonic reaction. So here one molecule of ATP is consumed. One molecule of ATP, energy consuming reaction. One molecule of ATP consumed and ADP Okay. So inorganic phosphate is added at a 6th carbon atom. So from hydrolysis of ATP molecule, inorganic phosphate is added to glucose molecule. So one inorganic phosphate. Here enzyme required is hexokinase. In 2019, they asked one question. In 2019, what is the name of enzyme which is involved in the conversion of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate? Hexokinase. That was old name. What about a new name? New name is a glucose 6-phosphotransferase. Glucose 6-phosphotransferase. Latest name according to IUB system of classification of enzymes. Glucose 6-phosphotransferase. And we discussed its enzyme code also 2712. Go back to enzymes. It was given there. Right? So glucose 6-phosphate. So this reaction is energy consuming reaction. So endergonic reaction. I will discuss endergonic reaction, exergonic reaction separately with the heading energetics of glycolysis. We'll discuss that one later. Don't worry. Now, glucose 6-phosphate is converted into its isomer fructose 6-phosphate. This is an isomerization reaction. Second reaction, isomerization. So this one is a phosphofructo isomerase. Simply I'm writing isomerase. Enzyme name isomerase. Okay. Fructose phosphate isomerase. Fructose phosphate isomerase. Simply you can write isomerase. Next. Now, fructose 6-monophosphate is converted into one molecule only. 6 carbon, 6 carbon, 6 carbon. Don't forget this one. 6 carbon. There is no change in the number of carbon atoms. 6 carbon. Hexose. So fructose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate or biphosphate. What about the number of phosphates here? Only one. Here, 2 phosphates. What happened here? So this one is energy consuming reaction. So third one also phosphorylation. Here also ATP is consumed. One molecule of ATP, one molecule of ADP. Inorganic phosphate is added. One inorganic phosphate added at a first position. Go back here at the 6th position. Inorganic phosphate added to 6th carbon atom. Here, second phosphate added to that hexose at the 1st carbon atom. Initially, it was glucose 6-phosphate or fructose 6-phosphate. Now it is fructose 1,6. 6th carbon atom, 1 phosphate. 1st carbon atom, 1 more phosphate. 1st phosphate added at 6th carbon atom. Second one at the 1st carbon atom. So this one is a hexose 6 carbon diphosphate or not, right? So now what about the fate of this one? In the presence of aldolase enzyme. Here enzyme is a phospho, fructo, phosphofructo kinase. Kinases are concerned with trans-phosphorylation reactions. Simply transfer of phosphate. Kinase, concerned with transfer of phosphate. So phosphofructokinase. Come back. Aldolase. Go back to C3 cycle in aldolase. In the case of C3 cycle, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is product of a condensation between DHAP and G3P. Go back to photosynthesis. It was given there, right? So now what about the fate of fructose 1,6 bisphosphate? This reaction is a splitting reaction, cleavage reaction. Fourth reaction, cleavage reaction or splitting reaction. Cleavage. Okay, so separation of a 6-carbon compound into 2 trioses. What are they? One is DHAP. Second one is G3P. This one is also called as PGAL, phosphoglyceraldehyde. Both are same. Okay, so 3 carbon. This one also 3 carbon. So 6 carbon is cleaved into trioses, 3 carbon compounds. Hence, glycolysis is called as a hexose diphosphate pathway. So fructose 1,6 bisphosphate plays an important role in the formation of a DHAP. What is DHAP? Dihydroxy acetone phosphate. Dihydroxy acetone phosphate. What is a G3P? These words are well known to you. We came across all these words during C3 cycle. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now, fifth reaction. In the presence of a triose phosphate isomerase, triose TPI, triose phosphate isomerase, DHAP is converted into G3P. DHAP is converted into G3P. Reason, DHAP is not suitable for biological oxidation. This one is suitable for biological oxidation, right? So now, how many G3P available? 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate available. This is very, very important. So what is the purpose of isomerization of DHAP into G3P? DHAP is not suitable for biological oxidation. So here, oxidation of glucose takes place in the form of G3P only, not in the form of DHAP. So that's why the conversion of DHAP into G3P is mandatory. Now, at the end, how many G3P are available? 2 molecules. 2 trioses are available. Now, what about a further oxidation of 2 molecules of G3P, right? So far, what about the total number of energy consuming reactions? At how many locations ATP is consumed? Here, 1 ATP consumed. Next, here, 1 ATP molecule consumed. So total number of ATP molecules consumed. Endergonic reactions, how many? 2. 2 molecules of ATP consumed, right? Is it clear?